Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. I haven't demoed many Vs on here lately, so let's fix that right now. This is the brand new Dave Ruud signature flying V from Epiphone, and it is easily one of the more eye-catching takes on the shape. If you don't know, Dave Ruud is half the guitar force in the band Tesla. He's been playing a variation of this white flying V since about 2015, and now finally Epiphone have released it as a production signature model. As far as I know, this is the only Epiphone flying V currently in production for the 2019 holiday season, or at least it's the only one currently available at major US retailers like Sam Ash. So visually, clearly, it really stands out. But what about when it comes to build quality and when it comes to sound? Let's take a closer look. Now before we get into the review, let's pretend you haven't heard 30 other YouTubers talk about today's sponsor that have made this independent guitar review possible, Raid Shadow Legends. Now I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys, but up until a few months ago I was still using an iPhone 5S. Yes, the one released in 2013, over half a decade ago. So I've been out of the mobile game space for a long time. I think the last one that I got hooked on before this was Flappy Bird. I literally couldn't play any of the new mobile games with my old ass phone, but holy crap, have they gotten good. So Raid is an ambitious RPG with great graphics, a ton of player customization options, boss battles, and an actual storyline in a mobile game. It's crazy. The gameplay is turn-based strategy. Kind of reminds me of old school Final Fantasy a bit, and you don't have to just take my word for it. Raid's been downloaded almost 10 million times. It has an almost perfect score on both the app and Play stores with 300,000 reviews. It's surprisingly deep for a mobile game. You can create custom masteries for like the million champions. The game is constantly growing. They've just added a highly anticipated Faction Wars feature, so now is a great time to jump in. As a new player, you're also constantly getting fresh stuff to play around with as part of the daily login reward system. Try it out. It's completely free to download and play. And best of all, if you use the link in the description, you get a bonus 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. But yeah, click the link. You can find me under Agufish. I'm currently a noob, so you can help me out and we can have some fun. Now that you've done that, let's get into the review. So when it comes to the Dave Ruud Flying V, for specs, there's actually a little bit of confusion. The Epiphone website lists the body and neck as mahogany, but then the description on the next tab has them down of being made of Akame, which is a lightweight alternative to mahogany. Akame? In person, it feels as solid as any other mahogany guitar I've tried from Epiphone, but every time I pick it up, I'm surprised by how much lighter it is than I expect it to be. The other spec detail I'm not quite sure about has to do with the fingerboard. Now, this is not the first all-white fingerboard we've seen from Epiphone. There is Brendan Small's Snow Falcon Flying V, and there's the Matt Hafey Snowfall Les Paul Customs in 6 and 7 string versions. Both these had phenolic fingerboards, which is a very hard synthetic material. Now, from the look and feel, I thought it was the same with the Dave Rude, but according to the Epiphone website, that's actually not the case. On the product page, the fingerboard is listed as hard maple. So I've reached out to Epiphone for clarification, and I'll provide an update when I hear back, and that was quick. So yes, hard maple for the fingerboard, and then Akome for the body/neck. I guess I'm going with Akome. Akome is apparently in the Asian mahogany family. I'd originally thought that it was in a separate family of woods. So, the more you know. Like, again, it's been a couple of years, but to me, it feels just like a lighter Snow Falcon. Regardless, visually, as you can tell, it is an attention grabber. Alpine white finish on the entire guitar, chrome hardware, white pickup covers, and bright red plastics. Now, initially, you might think that Epiphone just had a few unsold Snow Falcons lying around that they just wanted to repurpose, but the design for Dave Rude's signature actually comes from his favorite Tom Petty concert t-shirt. Keeping with the red and white aesthetic, even the side dots are red, which is pretty cool, and you might not have seen from any of the promo pics from other websites. Now, the pickguard is well cut around the edges and for the pickups, but it seems like they didn't leave enough room for the neck. I mean, you can see it's being pushed up by a reasonable amount on both sides of the binding. I really don't think it's supposed to be like that, but that's how it is here. Weird. Actually, now that I'm taking a closer look, it doesn't seem like the truss rod cover has been fitted properly either on this one. The top screw might be too close because the cover is being pushed up from the headstock as well. So disappointing, but for me, not deal breakers. Now in terms of hardware, it's your standard Epiphone affair. Epiphone Locktone Tune-O-Matic, Stop Bar Tailpiece, and Grover Rotomatic tuners. As I mentioned in the past, gone are the days where they used to use the cheapest feeling hardware and swapping everything out immediately was basically a must. The hardware feels great now, and they've even started using small post bridges, though they're still adjustable with the screwdriver from the top, unlike the ones found in Gibson's. The nut used to also be an area of concern for Epiphones in the past, but this one comes stock with a Graphtec Tusk nut. Very, very nice, no issues there. This one, yes, I know it's missing the plastic tip on the pickup selector. I don't remember it being missing when I pulled it off the wall at Sam Ash, so hopefully I'll find it around here somewhere. It's usually just a standard white plastic tip. So the Dave Rude Flying V comes with one of Epiphone's new Epi Light cases. These are kind of like a hard case slash gig bag hybrid thing. On the outside, they're soft and have a lot of padding, but on the inside, they're surprisingly rigid. The result is a durable but lightweight, convenient travel solution. I recently moved, and as the owner of a somewhat outrageous number of single-cut guitars, the Epi Light case that came with my Jared James Nichols Les Paul was one of my favorites to ferry guitars over to the new place. Inside the case are the usual tools and warranty card, as well as the hand-signed certificate of authenticity. Back to the guitar itself though, the neck is going to feel very familiar if you've played any high-end Epiphone from the last year or so. Slim taper C profile, 22 medium jumbo frets, 12-inch fingerboard radius. As far as fretwork is concerned, it's not the perfection that I found on the 2500 Eastman or whatever, but it's still pretty good, especially for a guitar in this price range. None of them needed leveling or crowning. The QC team did a good job. It's more than playable as is, and I was especially impressed with the polishing. There's kind of a weird situation going on with the fingerboard binding that I've never run into though. The binding has been rounded a bit on the sides for comfort, like you see with a lot more guitars in this price range now, but especially from like the 7th to 12th frets, it's been way overdone. It's almost like a scalloped fretboard, but in the completely wrong kind of way. It doesn't really get in the way of playability, but it does feel very bizarre. Now, one of the reasons that I don't demo Flying Vs very often is that I don't find them very comfortable to play sitting down. I'm like 87% sure that people that say they're comfortable to play classical style are lying to themselves, the same way you lie about liking the taste of whiskey the first few times you have it, but I digress. You can play them standing up, but spending hours writing riffs and tracking with them is just, it's not for me. I regret it almost every time. That being said, when you are playing this standing, it is well balanced with the strap and it's quite comfortable. Not too keen on the output jack location though. It's all the way at the tip, so it's super low and looks even more awkward if you're not using a right angle jack. Not where I would have chosen to put it, but to be fair, it's not my signature model. So the Dave Rude Flying V comes with Epiphone's Pro Bucker pickups, a Pro Bucker 3 in the bridge, and a Pro Bucker 2 in the neck. They can be individually coil split using the 2 push-pull volume controls. Here's what the guitar sounds like through the Marshall DSL 100H. Pro buckers are showing up in more and more of the newest Epiphone models, and they're not bad. They're jack of all trades pickups. They're not my favorites, but they handle everything well enough. Distorted tones, clean tones. You don't have to swap them out, but if you end up doing so for a more specialized set, there's no guilt because, well, they're Epiphone Pro buckers. As far as the internal wiring goes, it's pretty decent as well. Epiphone's been using large-sized Korean pots for a while, which aren't scratchy and have a good resistance to them. So I think overall, the Dave Root Signature is a really interesting take on the Flying V, right? Like, it's not another affordable reissue of something Gibson did 60 years ago. It's something new and different from Epiphone. Not only that, but the most affordable Flying V Gibson currently offers goes new for $1,400, almost twice what Epiphone is asking for the Dave Root Sig. I don't agree with a couple of the design decisions they went with. The output jack location in particular got to me the more time I spent with it, and this particular unit had something weird going on with the fingerboard, which was disappointing. But as an overall concept, if you're into Flying Vs with a proper headstock shape, very decent specs for a reasonable amount of money. For $800, the Dave Root Signature is an easy recommendation. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. These are of course just my opinions and I'd love to hear yours, so leave them in the comments and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You can also hit the notification bell, that way YouTube will let you know when I upload a new video, since apparently subscriptions mean nothing nowadays. Thanks to Sam Ash for making this guitar available, and to Luke for mixing everything. You can find MP3 and tab downloads for all the demo tracks on Patreon. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.